We are outside of Livingston, Montana. We're sitting at a beautiful Western film set that's freshly built, and we're filming a short film. There is a twist in the middle, which is an automotive twist. We're sitting at the end of day 4 without too many hitches. So this project is a little bit unique in this is meant to be narrative, but also in order to justify funding it, it also needed to have some commercial angle, and that's where the car came in. I've never shot horses before, never shot a period piece before, never shot a Western before, so it's all kind of happening at once. It's a lot of acting through just specifically action. Heavy on the sound effects and sound design, heavy on the music, and heavy on the visuals. There will hopefully be a lot of nuanced subtlety in what people are feeling and reacting to. I wrote the script based on what I wanted to see. It was my hope that somehow we'll get this made. With Western, it's all about world building. A man in black, a gunslinger, a saloon girl. How fun would it be to insert sort of an all-powerful stagecoach right in the middle of that? What would those very stereotypical characters think of that happening to them? And how can we smash all those together and make something really unique that maybe isn't out there? About a year and a half ago, we did a project called Mr. E with a Porsche Taycan. I was super happy with the result. We ended up in some festivals. And so the follow-up to that was a friend of mine. I had asked him what car perhaps is a little bit misunderstood. And he said, Cullinan, Rolls-Royce for sure. It's luxury at its peak, but it's also supposed to be off-road and an SUV. And what can we do with a Cullinan that motivates the dust being kicked up or going through the water? What sort of story could we have that gives it a reason to do those things? Because a Rolls-Royce has origins in the 1800s, it was like, well, what if we did a Western period piece? And so we set out to see if Rolls-Royce would be interested and to find a place to shoot it. And I was lucky enough to come across this film set, Yellowstone Film Ranch, and when they heard that we might want to bring a luxury SUV to do something in their ranch, I think that piqued their interest. We ended up having the ranch for an entire week, which was incredibly flexible. We've got a saloon that's supposed to be in a different city. We've got a tavern, we've got the bank, we've got a stagecoach area, we've got a mine, and they even have a church which can be craned out so you can burn a facade of a church, which we didn't do. I wish we did, but the script didn't call for it.
I grew up watching Westerns with my dad. Searcher, Shane, all the Sergio Leone stuff. Recently, I did a Netflix film documentary out in Wyoming. Love working with horses, love working with cowboys, and generally love Westerns. This, for me, with a fusion of automotive work and Westerns, I saw the boards and I was like, I have to shoot this. So Jeremy, from the beginning, said to me, it has to be a Rolls-Royce Cullinan. And I think at one point I was like, oh, well, it could be. He's like, nope, this is the car. He went out and was able to get Rolls interested.
Friend of a friend was able to put me in touch with Rolls-Royce North America. I showed them the boards and the script, and they said, we're definitely interested. We're not going to pay for it, but we could probably get you a car. So it was incredible of them to give us a Cullinan for the week. We're trying to straddle a really fine line between narrative and commercial. As the project was taking shape, we're asking for a car, you're asking for a location, you're trying to keep the budget down, but as people get interested and you want to do more and more and more, we wanted to hire as many people locally as we could. We've done our best to be scrappy, but we still had, I think, an ensemble cast of all of the tropey Western characters you could ask for. So we've ended up with an incredible mix of people from out of town and a local crew to fill out the full days that we're shooting, probably longer than anybody would want. But my goal is to make something that everyone can benefit from in their own way.
This script in particular is really adrenaline filled, and I think that the scale that you're going to get from full frame is something that I was really looking for. So I came out with my Alexa Mini LF and a wonderful crew that Jeremy had actually worked with out of Los Angeles. So Adorama Rentals in New York was incredibly generous and hooked us up with a full set of Cook 1.8 full frame special flares. It's not a surgical, hyper-real look, which I think actually adds a nice layer of gloss to a project like this. I'm just really impressed with The subtle detuning that Cook did, the flares, you have a really strong baseline. They can take a pretty heavy optical diffusion and still actually remain really contrasty overall and really sharp. But all the classic Cook characteristics.
Attempting a Western with a small budget, we needed costumes, we needed talent, we needed hair and makeup, and we need the props. So because of what's happening in the world, we needed to be extremely careful and safe with our set. We rented all of the guns locally in LA, prop guns, rubber guns, some replicas, but no live ammunition, all VFX gun smoke, and we're not having any gratuitous violence in this.
We wanted to keep it naturalistic. We knew we didn't want it to feel overly lit or too commercial. I think the main challenge that we faced was it's a dense script in a good way. A lot of scenes, a lot of narrative beats, and we had 4 days to do it. We were moving at a really fast clip, but I think that we got everything that we were after and more.
We're not really sure who the gunslinger is. We have a decoy, faceless gunslinger walking in the beginning, and then our hero gunslinger emerges in the middle when he gets the call for help. And then by the end, it's actually the saloon girl, Isabel, who's kind of the real gunslinger, the one who actually stood up for what she believed in. It's my hope that anyone watching it would see a little bit of themselves in each of these characters. The Cullinan might not be my first choice to do a narrative short on. It was amazing that they gave us a car. For these narrative films that have an automotive component, I've always wanted to show the car as a character. For this film, the Cullinan is a central character to it. Every car has a face, every car has a personality. This car's personality happens to be extreme luxury. What better place to see that than 1800s West? The Starry Night headliner, the spirit of ecstasy that's popping out of the grill itself, a throwback to some of the original Rolls-Royces. It's nearly impossible to think of any other car that would have fit in this script. Inserting some of the precision driving into this, we don't want to risk anything more than we need to, but we want to push the envelope because this car ultimately is meant to drive through the dirt. It's meant to go through the water. And what better place to do that than an old Western set? From the short film side, I hope they see a narrative story that is identifiable from all the best Westerns out there, sort of the best of the West. From the commercial side, I hope they see something that is a fresher take on motivating the way the car is being used. This project has been in the works for a year and a half. You think about it, you massage it, you're making phone calls, you're reaching out, you're hoping people respond. After 4 full days of shooting, I'm a little exhausted, but I have to remind myself that I'm so fortunate to be surrounded by people who are also doing what they love. And that enthusiasm, it needs to be in every project. When you make a film, whether it's a short or a feature or a doc or a narrative or commercial, whatever it is, it's hard. It's really hard. And when I wrote a Western, I didn't realize how hard it would actually be. But being out here at the end of day 4, I'm so grateful to everyone who's contributed. I couldn't ask for a better cast. I couldn't ask for a better crew. What's rewarding for me might not even be the end film. Of course, there's a reward when people watch it and you hear what they say, but the reward is bringing it to life, bringing it off the page, and that's the most gratifying thing, is to see words becoming images and becoming something that people hopefully want to actually watch and enjoy.